Well, it makes China in a place that is very uncomfortable being. China is caught between being a partner and a backer of an autocrat who's not doing so well right now in terms of what he's done in Ukraine. So, in a lot of ways, Beijing is thinking that it's backing the wrong horse. But on the other side, China wants to be very much in that camp that says there are other ways to go about governing. There's other ways to go about doing international affairs than what the Americans in the West want to do. We represent that. And so it can't to jump in bed with just the West. It's got to find this narrow line to walk where it's not caught in the splatter of what's happening out of Moscow. But on the other hand, it's not giving up its bigger picture, which is charting a Chinese course in global world affairs and really staking out its own territory. It's got to walk that fine line.
You know, Jim, we follow the interconnection between geopolitics and energy markets, Dan and I both. And of course, being based in the Middle East, we tend to look at these things through the prism of the region. Do you see a role for OPEC Plus, and I'm talking about Saudi Arabia and the UAE specifically here, in the Chinese dynamic? Because at the end of the day, over half of Chinese oil imports come from the Middle East. Is there a way, do you think, that they could exert some kind of pressure on the Chinese to the benefit perhaps of the West? And has there been a mistake made, in your view, by this administration in not reaching out to them more quickly to do so?
Well, it's a complex game for the administration to play because U.S. relations with Saudi Arabia, with the Middle East, and this administration is in a very different place than it might have been 10, 20, 30 years ago in a similar situation where in the Middle East, the oil producers there hold a lot of leverage now. Your point about China is absolutely right. The administration has reached out to the oil producers to see if they can increase the oil production. I think those to my experience, and is that those nations, they're going to do what's good for business. They're not going to necessarily do a favor for the West, do a favor for the U.S., and try to manipulate things to go the way the U.S. might want it to go. They're going to do what's good for business. They're going to do what's good for making money in terms of oil production. And I don't see them jumping into the political game in a way that will be peacemaking or something along those lines. I think they're going to do what's best for themselves and leave the peacemaking up to others.